Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. We begin with the fallout, the veritable S-storm, if you will, over President Trump's comments about immigrants from what lawmakers in the meeting say the president called S-hole countries. Reaction has been swift, sharp, and almost overwhelmingly negative. The president engaged in some Twitter damage control this morning, tweeting a vague denial, but Democrats and Republicans who were in that meeting are now weighing in with what they did or did not hear. All of this as a government-funding DACA border security deal could now be much tougher to get before next Friday's deadline. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off tonight from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening to you. As we reported last night, multiple sources inside and outside the White House confirmed to Fox News that President Trump did indeed use the language in question in an Oval Office discussion on DACA yesterday afternoon. And as happened so many times in the past, the president and not the issue has now become the story. At a White House event signing a proclamation for Martin Luther King Day, President Trump ignored shouted questions from the press about his comments yesterday.
Mr. President, will you give an apology for the statement yesterday?
Mr. President, did you refer to African nations?
Mr. President, are you a racist?
It was during a heated Oval Office meeting that President Trump reportedly asked, quote, "Why are we having all these people from S-hole countries come here?" A firestorm of controversy erupted across the globe, from the Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress.
Ours is not a s**hole country, neither is Haiti or any other country in distress.
To the UN High Commission for Human Rights.
These are shocking and shameful comments from the President of the United States. I'm sorry, but there's no other word one can use but racist.
Waking up to a world of hurt this morning, President Trump denied he said it, tweeting, quote, "The language used by me at the DACA meeting was tough, but this was not the language used." A short time later, he appeared to walk that back just a bit, tweeting, quote, "Never said anything derogatory about Haitians other than Haiti is, obviously, a very poor and troubled country." But Democratic Senator Dick Durbin, who was present at the meeting, insisted the president did use those words.
He said Haitians. Do we need more Haitians? And then he went on and we started to describe the immigration from Africa that was being protected in this bipartisan measure. That's when he used these vile and vulgar comments, calling the nations they come from holes. The exact word used by the president, not just once, but repeatedly.
House Speaker Paul Ryan, the son of Irish immigrants, wasn't at the meeting, but again found himself weighing in on President Trump's comments.
Yeah, I read those comments later last night. So first thing that came to my mind was very unfortunate, unhelpful. I see this as a thing to celebrate, and I think it's a big part of our strength. Whether you're coming from Haiti, we've got great friends from Africa in Janesville who are doctors who are just incredible citizens.
This afternoon, two of the participants at the meeting, Senators Tom Cotton and David Perdue, said, "Wait a minute, we didn't hear the president say that," in a joint statement insisting, quote, "We do not recall the president saying these comments specifically, but what he did call out was the imbalance in our current immigration system, which does not protect American workers and our national interest." In the bigger picture, the president and Congress still seem miles apart on what to do about DACA. The president tweeting that the so-called bipartisan DACA deal presented yesterday was a big step backwards. Wall was not properly funded, chain and lottery were made worse, and USA would be forced to take large numbers of people from high-crime countries which are doing badly. Earlier this week, President Trump appeared to earn a tremendous amount of political capital and goodwill with that televised hour-long meeting with members of Congress here at the White House. What remains to be seen as negotiations over DACA go forward is how much of that goodwill did the president squander with his comments, and how much leverage has he lost in these negotiations? Brett?
John, the president also tweeting this morning, defending his decision not to go to Great Britain. Quote, "Reason I canceled my trip to London is that I am not a big fan of the Obama administration having sold perhaps the best located and finest embassy in London for peanuts, only to build a new one in an off location for $1.2 billion. Bad deal. Wanted me to cut ribbon. No." What about this?
Well, the White House saying that the president was invited over there to cut the ribbon on the new U.S. embassy, which cost $1.2 billion. Travel was on hold for the end of February, though it was never really firmed up. But I'm told that the president just didn't want to be associated with what he saw as a really terrible real estate deal, that they overpaid for the land. It's in a bad location. And because the standing American embassy has been designated a heritage site, they couldn't get a whole lot of money for it. The president, in that tweet this morning, did make one factual error, though. He blamed the embassy deal on the Obama administration. It was actually the Bush administration that initiated the move, and it's resulted in some interesting politics in the UK. London Mayor Sadiq Khan coming out to say that President Trump finally got the message that people in London don't want to see him, which resulted in the Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson calling Khan a puffed-up, pompous popinjay. And we should also point out, Brett, that this has got no effect on plans for a state visit of the president to the UK later on this year.
Congrats on hitting the P's there. That was good. John, thank you.